Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. Tottenham Hotspur are winning league titles. According to 95% of all the videos I've watched, it's as though Spurs have never lost a game. But listen, we are back for Debate Savva. We've relaxed it a bit lately. People can come on and have their say. Apologies, I've just come back from a haircut, so there might be a few flaky hairs flying around. So big up to each and every one of you. This is a chance for, I suppose, for people that don't have their own YouTube platform and don't know any YouTubers. This is their chance to come on and have their say. So I have put the link in the chat, and if people would like to come on and talk about whatever they want to talk about, they don't have to debate me. They might want to bring up a subject that we agree on. We can have that conversation as well. It might be something I've said that they don't like, they want to debate. They might want to call out things they've seen on TalkSport or Sky Sports, or things that Andrew said, or the players said, or YouTubers have said. The floor is yours. I think it's really, really important that YouTubers don't just get the platform for themselves, and that we allow everybody to come on and have their say. It's football at the end of the day. No one owns the opinions. No one owes the ownership. So please feel free to join the show. Just quickly before we start, in the world of football today, so Edu has resigned as the sporting director of Arsenal, which is interesting news. A lot of fans, all they kept saying to me was, well, look what happened with Arteta. Give Ange that time. Now they're saying, hang on, we can finish above Arsenal. So I'm not sure what the mixed message is going to be there. But big up to each and every one of you. We are coming off the back today of a fantastic 3 or 4 days for Tottenham Hotspur. A home win to Man City is a home win to Man City. Doesn't matter who they had out. Yes, does it make it slightly easier without De Bruyne and Rodri and Walker and Haaland and Doku and Grealish and Bob and blah, blah, blah? Yes. Does it take anything away from the fact that we knocked them out and we're in to the next round? No, it doesn't. Now, the question was after that, can we kick on? Can we kick on from that, and can we beat Aston Villa at home? We have beaten Aston Villa at home, and we beat them convincingly. And I'm probably different to a lot of other YouTubers. I don't think Spurs play this mind-blowing football that I think a lot of people think we play. What I think we are is I think we're devastating in patches. I think we have 15, 20-minute spells in games where the tempo goes up and the intensity goes up, and Spurs suddenly go boom, boom, boom. 1 goal, 2 goal, 3. The game is out of sight. Now, does that always work? We know it doesn't always work. Is the home form versus the away form going to be a topic of conversation tonight? I'm sure it is. I'm not prompting my guest, but I'm sure that might be one thing that I want to talk about. And equally, one thing I would say, and I know people don't like this, but we definitely need people to keep their feet on the ground. It's kind of like we lose a game, and it's a project, it's a process. It's going to take 4 transfer windows. It's going to take time. We win the following game, and it's, there you go, and just put everyone in the mud. We're the best team in the world. For me, I think the truth, as always, lies somewhere in the middle. It's never as bad as we think, and it's never as good as we think. And before I get my first guest on, look, I've got Eugene in the back. I've got Mark in the back as well. I might bring them both on together. Who knows? Crazy times, crazy times. I just want to make sure that people remember last year. You know, we had a lot of people after 10 games. This time last year, by the way, we were on 26 points. This time last year, if we look at the league table for this season, Liverpool on 25. We actually had 1 more point than this season's league leaders had at this time last year. And everyone got a bit carried away. And it's because of that. And it's not just last season. I think it's the last 20 years of being a Spurs fan. And my guests coming on will be from varying different ages and backgrounds and have different memories of supporting Spurs. But one thing I think we can all agree on is we do this quite a lot. We get a little bit carried away, and then everyone talks about titles and trophies. For me, I'm going to remember that it's the 4th of November. Okay, I'm just going to remember that it's the 4th of November and no trophies are going to be won yet. Let me bring out, Eugene hasn't got his camera on. Naughty Eugene. He knows the rules. I'm looking forward to my friend Lena Tuz, who's in the chat, always having a pop at me, always lying. I'm looking forward to Lena jumping on. And if that's not me calling you out directly, I don't know what is. But before I start, let me bring in Eugene. Eugene, how you doing, mate? Are you good? You well?
I'm good, man. That's a nice cut, Savva. Great haircut. Looking great. Looking good, man. Looking good.
Yeah, it knocks about 10 years off me, and then a week growth, and it puts about 20 years back on. So, I just have to take what I can get. Eugene, dude, you're always welcome on the show. You've been on many times before. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to say?
No, I'm in a good mood, man. As a Spurs fan, as you well know more than others, there are not a lot of big moments of happiness. So I'll just take it one game at a time. Try not to look at a big picture at this point, just focusing on, this game. And I'm very happy. Seeing the same issues again, we're very inconsistent, right? We have good halves, but I think we've only played one full good game at United. All the other games, crap first half, good second half, or the other way around. But at home, our form is really good. We just need to do better away. But
yeah,
I'm happy. And I have a question for you. Is it me? It's a crazy question. And I hope my man Jacob is not watching, but is it just me, or did we look better on defense when Romero came out and we put Ben Davies on? It's a crazy question. I know it's Ben Davies, but to me, I felt like we looked more solid in the back with Dragoshin and Davis. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm imagining.
Big up Jacob, United Spurs of America. Let's hope he's not listening. He loves himself a bit of cootie. Look, all jokes aside, look, I've said the last couple of games, when Davis has come on, he's come on in both games. I don't know the exact minutes, but I want to say the last sort of 25, 30 minutes of both games. And what I think it does, I think it straight away makes Spurs actually have a flat back four. We actually go to a conventional defense where we haven't got Van der Ven and his pace. We haven't got Romero and his crazy running out into midfield and kicking anything that moves. We just ended up in both games with Dragoshin and Davis, who are centre halves. But Davis, more of a left back, but as his career's gone on, he's drifted in. I think both of those two together give you that more conventional balance. Now, does that work for 90 minutes? I don't know. I genuinely don't. I think it could, Eugene, against the bigger teams where we don't have as much of the ball, i.e. a Man City, i.e. an Arsenal, i.e. a Liverpool. I just don't think you need two centre halves like that when you're playing Ipswich at home. Now that's quite ironic because those two might both have to start against Ipswich at home. But see my point, I think it makes us more conventional and we actually defend as though we're a back four rather than one fullback's out here, one's there, centre back here, centre back there. Do you know what I mean? I think it gives us a back four. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. And I was half joking, to be honest, but when Davis came on, I wasn't nervous. And Dragoshin, I feel like he does much better on the right than on the left. His passing is still suspect, but he actually did well. So overall, not many complaints other than just for some reason we're inconsistent. I think Ange did tweak some things in the second half, which was good to see. Sonny and Johnson, it looked like they were inverting more, and Udogie and Porro hugged the touchline, which gave us more space. So that was good. And I was really impressed with Sarr. He was my man of the match. I know Solanke got man of the match, 2 goals, but Sarr was immense. So it was good to see because usually I think Ange plays Sarr and Bissouma together, but Sarr and Bentancur, both of them, I felt like had very good games. And it was also good for me to see that Madison was benched. Just Ange saying, you know what, I'm going to play the 3 best midfielders based on the tactics that I want to have for a specific game. And now I feel like we're at a point where in the midfield, at least, we have some good options based on the opponent.
Do you know what? I think you're right. I think, for me, I think it's good that we've got a lot of midfield options because I'm going to say it. I think like Sarr was brilliant yesterday. I'm going to go as far to say it's the best I've seen Papa Sarr play in a Spurs shirt. For me, I still have the same reservations. That listen, I know when Spurs win a game, people want to lose their minds and start going, oh my God, Kulu's 130 million pounds and Sarr, give him another 7 years on top of his current 7 years. For me, I think I still stand by it. Basuma, Bentancur, and Sarr are all three very erratic footballers. I think you get brilliant performances out of them, and then I think you get performances where I don't want to say bad, but they're just missing. They're not really a game. There's not really a lot going on. For me, I want to see, like what I saw yesterday from Sarr. That's what you've got to see week in, week out to put these players on that pedestal. But it's good that we've got options there. The question I would ask you is, we've got a lot of options there, not really a lot of options at the back. So if we actually look forward to Thursday night's game against Galatasaray, obviously Jed Spence, whether he's fit or not, can't play. Romero and Van der Ven are injured. Archie Gray will probably go in and play at right back. And Udogie will have to play at left back. So you're going to have Udogie, Davis, Dragusin, Gray. That leaves the only defender from our entire squad on the bench. It's Pedro Porro. Leaves us very, very short in this European competitions, doesn't it, in defense?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And on the wings as well. I mean, I don't consider Werner as, a player that we should be playing. But yeah, like on defense, for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I feel like, our issues all year long. Van der Ven, unfortunately, is injury prone. Romero does Romero things. The good thing is we don't have to win the Turkey game, because either way, even if we lose, we'll still go through. I feel like it's going to be a good test for the youngsters and just overall for the mentality. It's a tough place to go, so it's going to be interesting how the players, what their mentality is going to be. Defense is suspect, but thankfully it's not a must-win game for us. So it's just going to be interesting to see who steps up and who doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. It's not a, oh my God, if we don't win this, we're out of Europe, the whole thing's collapsed. But at the same time, it would be nice to come away from there without defeat, purely because whether it's a changed team or not, we've got to kind of, everyone's seen me do this a lot, and this is Spurs at the moment, isn't it? We're very erratic with our performances. And I think, watching Tottenham away last night, and Iggy and Stell actually said it, that, Tottenham are two teams. We are two very different teams. Sometimes you watch us and we are brilliant. Other times you watch us and it looks like they've never played together. And I don't know, what do you put that down to? I'm going to ask this question, and then afterwards I will get on Mark, who's been waiting patiently. What do you put that down to, Eugene? Why are we so different at White Hart Lane as to when we go on the road? What's the differentiator between the two?
I mean, I think it goes back to what I've been saying for a long time. It's the mentality and lack of leadership. I remember Conte and Jose were saying the same thing, right? We have the soft underbelly. We don't do well under pressure. And there's lack of leadership when on the road. We need somebody to step up, and we just don't have these players. At home, when the crowd is behind you, it's just much easier to play. But we're a front-running team. When things are great, everybody's playing well. When things are not great, when it's tough, we don't have the leadership to take charge of what's happening. And that's why we'll still be seeing inconsistent results until we get some players in with the winning mentality, with the right attitude. And it's just funny, Romero, he's a World Cup winner, Copa America winner, but on that Argentina team, that team is full of winners and leaders, and he doesn't have to do that job. So I'm not sure he is that type of a player. On our team, I only think maybe Poirot and Vicario are that, but Vicario is a goalkeeper, and it's not good to have a goalkeeper as a captain. I feel like a captain needs to be in the midfield probably. Sani is also not that guy. So I feel like we're missing one or two leaders on the pitch that will organize the team, and I think that's going to help us with our inconsistencies on the road. But this year, I feel like that's how we're going to do. We're going to do it at home. We're going to be losing on the road. And the interesting thing, or the funny thing, and maybe that's a question to you, Savva, looking at all the other results and all the other teams, other than Liverpool, all the teams have been super inconsistent. Forest is in third. You see Arsenal lose to Bournemouth and lose to teams they should be beating. They haven't played well all year. City is banged up. They're losing. Chelsea's inconsistent. Villa is inconsistent. It's just interesting that so far, other than Liverpool, everybody's struggling. And I'm not sure if those teams are not as good as we thought, or the teams that we thought were poor.
Well, let's be honest. Let's do this then. Let's have a look. And after this, I will need to get Mark on. But let's have a look at this. If I bring the Premier League table up, right? If we have a look there, nothing surprises me. The two that are ahead of everyone else are the best two in the league at the moment. Now, Arsenal, look, from a Spurs perspective, it's quite funny, right? But let's take our Spurs hats off at the moment. Everyone at the beginning of the season said that Arsenal will be up there. And I think for me, the only shock is that Arsenal aren't up there with City and Liverpool. And of course, Nottingham Forest being in third. But they're third, and the difference between third and eighth is 3 points. So it's not like they're third and they're miles away. But hats off to Nuno, he's done a great job. But when you look at Liverpool and City, everyone else in there is kind of the same, isn't it? If you look, the gap between all of those clubs, if we look, third to 10th is 4 points. Everyone's won either 5 or 4 games, right? Everyone's lost either 2 or 3 games, apart from Tottenham that have lost 4. Everyone's kind of very, very similar to each other in there. And I would suggest that other than Arsenal, who at the moment are the anomaly because of their challenge for the last 2 years, all of those other teams, I would expect to be having those issues because they're not good enough. Their squads are not what Man City's squad is. You know, the reason why people get so excited when Man City lose a game is because it happens so irregularly. It's the reason why there was so much noise when Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest, because it's 1 defeat in 10 for those teams, right? It's one in 10. If you lose 1 in 10, you lose something like 3.8 games a season. So all the rest of the teams, that's what I think is going to be brilliant this year, Eugene, in a roundabout way. I think from 4th to 10th, I think you could draw out of a hat. I don't think any of those teams are going to really pull away from the others. I think Spurs, Villa, Brighton, Chelsea, I do expect Arsenal to pull away. Newcastle, Bournemouth, I think they're all going to be much of a muchness. I don't think there's going to be a lot in them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And I agree. This season is going to be interesting. The top 4, I think it's anybody's game, or at least, the top 6, 7 teams are all competing for top 4. It's just watching the games like Arsenal, they have not looked good all year for some reason. Something is off. Mm-hmm. City is City, they'll pick up, but even they don't look the same as before. Chelsea is going to be up and down. Villa is going to be up and down. So it's just super interesting for me to see that even the bottom 10 teams, they're doing better this year. It's just, for some reason, it looks like this league, this year, we, other than probably bottom 3-4 teams, every week, we're going to see some upsets. Mm-hmm. The teams are... I feel like more even than they've been for a long time.
I agree, but that's why I don't think they're upsets. See, for me, an upset is, I think when Bournemouth beat Man City, you can say that's an upset. But Bournemouth also beat Arsenal. So if they keep winning those games, it starts to become not an upset. But I make you right. I think there's a lot of teams that are of a similar ilk in this league. And for me, the top 2, I think, listen, unless Arsenal, look, they've got players to come back, but... at the moment, all doesn't seem well in the Arsenal camp. I'm seeing Arsenal fans in the chat, in my chat, normally coming in here, digging us out, having a pop at us. Now it's Edu's out. Yeah. Is Arteta going to go out? All of this kind of stuff. So for me, I've said it time and time again, and I am going to let you go in 1 second. I am going to let you go. But I've said it time and time again. There's a huge difference between challenging Man City and taking their throne. There's a huge difference. You think even that Liverpool team that won the league won it once.
Yeah.
That is Man City's title, right? and it's everybody else's job to try and wrestle that away from them. And even when they do, Man City bounce back the year after and win it. And listen, the Premier League's interesting. At the moment, it has been a farmers' league for a while in terms of City winning it, but it doesn't really bother us because we're not in that phase at the moment. But listen, Eugene, lovely to see you. I am going to let you go, and I'm going to bring in Mark. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day, man.
You too.
Take care. I'm going to bring Mark on in 1 second. The link is in the chat. If anyone would like to come on, the link is in the chat. It's pinned after Mark. We've got Ryan after that, no one else. So if anyone would like to come on, again, a lot of you always have a pop at me. All week you have a pop at me. When the link goes out, you suddenly shit your pants. So if you wanna come on and have a debate, do Lena. I'm looking at you. Please come on and tell me why Kulu is better than all these other midfielders. Please let me know. Just one quick before we do. Donna Cullen in the chat said, "Wagwan, Mr. Savva." I would love to think that Donna Cullen talks like that. I think that would be amazing. Said, "Do you like my new picture? It is stunning. It looks like a Tinder profile pic." Yeah, so good on you. Thank you very much, Donna Cullen. And the other one was James Wild saying, "What's wrong with going overboard and dreaming?" James, I heard this all last year. There's nothing wrong with it. But then people that have a pop at people like me that stay grounded, because we've seen all of this nonsense about going overboard and dreaming before. I choose to adult about these situations. There's no point going, "Oh my God, we're going to win a league." Look what happened last year. This time last year, we had 10 points more than we've got now, and everyone's losing their mind this year. We're 10 points further back. We're doing worse. We're doing a lot worse. But here is Mark. Let me bring Mark into the show. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Savva. Happy birthday, by the way. First Sunday.
It was Friday. We're milking
Friday,
it now.
It was Sunday.
We're milking it. We're milking it.
Keep it going, mate.
Oh, dearie me, dearie me. Yeah, Mark, what's gone on? I mean, we haven't spoke for a week since then. We've had 2 good wins. What are you saying?
Just a little point. I haven't heard many YouTubers start to say is it me or are Tottenham taking more shots from midfield than they have done in the previous first 3 or 4 games? Because we were getting like 1 shot, 2 shots a game. Papa had 3 or 4 shots. Benkencourt had a few shots. We seem to be doing a lot more shots than we have done recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We have. I mean, Papa Sarr likes to take a shot.
Yeah.
Noticed yesterday, Bentoncourt had 2 or 3. They weren't the greatest shots, but he lined it up. He took a shot. James Maddison likes having a bit of a dig from outside the box as well. Listen, I'm all for it. I don't always want to score that perfect goal.
No.
I shot from 30 yards, 20 yards.
No. Yeah, I mean, it was just like, I don't know if Angie's had a word tactically or had a look and said we're not having enough shots or something like that, but it definitely seems to me a more emphasis. If you do have space or room, why not have a shot?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree. Sorry, I put my dog on the lap.
No worries.
You can see a dog on the TV. No, stop. And he's losing his mind. Yeah, listen, I agree. Has Ange instructed them to do that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it's refreshing because Sarr's shot was fantastic. That won the game midweek. It was just such a nice surprise. I mean, we've fantastic result against Villa. But what I did like was Solanke's first goal, because the 2 of the other goals we scored before, Johnson Solanke, the cut back cross, which we do score a lot of. The Solanke goal where he chipped the keeper was something different. It was a different goal that I've seen.
Do you know what? It was a really good finish. And I mean, kudos to Kulu played a lovely ball. I thought Kulu had a quieter game yesterday, but when that moment of quality was needed, lovely little reverse pass. And listen, lovely dink, really good dink from Solanke. And when you see him finish like that, what frustrates me is I hardly ever see him in the box. Even in the first half yesterday, I didn't notice he was playing. Second half, it was literally as though someone had said to him, "Dude, get in the box." And the first cross that came in from Son could have been his, but Johnson had run in there.
Yeah.
Then he was in there for Kulu's playing through. Then he was there for the pullback from Richarlison. It just makes me think, do that more. Stop coming deep and trying to link up absolutely everything. Get in the box and score goals. That's what you're paid to do.
Yeah, that will ultimately win us the games. You know, if he gets 20 goals a season, we'll be more than happy. That's what we need. But also what was another point, just a little worry, Ange's reluctancy to play the kids again, the youngsters, bringing them on as subs again. Apart from Archie Gray, no more, no Bergwell. Are they going to play against Galatasaray, then Ipswich, then Man City? How much game time are these kids going to get?
Well, Mark, let's take this back to June or July of this year, okay, when we started signing these kids, right? Sod that. Let's take it back to January, which is when we actually signed Bergwall.
Yeah.
So January through to now, we've signed. Oh, hang on. Have you got? Can anyone hear an echo? I've got a really bad echo coming out of your. I'm gonna mute you for 1 sec. Check it's not me. Is there still an echo? No, there's an echo coming out of your computer, by the way. But no worries.
It's on a phone.
No worries. No worries. Oh, hang on. I'm going to mute you when I talk. Okay, I'm going to mute you while I talk. So if we go back that far, we bought Bergwall, and then in the summer we signed what? Gray. So you got Bergwall, Gray, Yang, Odegaard. We've got Vuskovic, who's coming into the club as well. You know, the year before that, who did we sign? We signed some youngsters as well. And when you look at it, everyone lost their minds, didn't they? Everyone lost their minds in the summer going, oh my God, these kids are amazing, you know, because we beat some South Korean teams, you know, 3-0 or whatever the scores were in those games. Can't remember them now. And everyone was going on about, oh my God, Jamie Donnelly's magnificent and Will Lankshire's magnificent and Mikey Moore's magnificent. And I remember there were certain people like myself and Stel especially would sit there and say, hang on, it's all well and good saying that these guys are doing well in pre-season, but I'm guessing if you watched every club in pre-season, their kids would have got run-outs. But we were the fan base going, they're brilliant, they're going to play. And let's be fair, what have we seen this year? What have we seen? When it comes to the Premier League, how many minutes do you think we could add up between Odegaard, Lancashire, Bergwall and Gray? And that tells me this isn't a youth project. What we've actually done is bought a lot of kids to replace senior pros that went out in the hope that in 4 or 5 years they become brilliant. I mean, that's my theory on it. What says you?
I agree, but the trouble is with the squad being so small, he's relying on these players to sometimes fill gaps. I could understand if he bought these players and then loaned them straight out, but bought some actual proper, you know, first team players in between as well, I think we'd have no problem. But Archie Gray, Bergwall, all these people should be in the Championship, earning the Spurs basically for a year or two, then coming back, not to be put in, and it's hurting their development. It can't help, it can't help them being stuck on a bench and given 5 minutes at the end or nothing at all.
Well, this is going to be the issue, isn't it? Is when we talk about young players and their development, and again, Stel is someone really good to talk to about this because he works in youth football. When we're talking about young players' development and how good they're going to be, they can only improve as footballers if they're getting minutes in their legs. Now, Mark, I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to guess you're older than me. No offense.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just turned 50.
There you go. Happy birthday to you. Just turning 50. Sorry, it's everyone's birthday all year round.
Mine was in July, though.
Oh, happy half birthday, nearly.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, and when you were growing up, we had the reserve football.
Yes,
right?
you did. Yes, yeah.
You had the reserve football, which for me was sorely missed because what you would do is, not teaching you to suck eggs, just some of the younger people in the chat.
Yeah.
Mute you for a sec because it's coming through again. What would happen for anyone who wasn't around for the reserve football days was midweek, it would be Spurs reserves versus Fulham reserves. And what it would be is your Archie Grays, your Bergvals, your Odebers, your Will Lancashires, your Richarlison's coming back from injury, your Ben Davises. These people would all be playing a competitive game midweek, so they were still fit. So that when it came to the weekend, it wasn't, oh my God, they haven't played any football for 2 months or for 3 weeks. Now, because we don't have the youth football, we're relying on 5-minute cameos. And let's be fair, Archie Gray getting a 5-minute cameo at left back, I don't see how that helps him grow as a footballer. Bergvall not even getting on the pitch. Will Lancashire can't even get on the bench above people like Timo Werner. So I don't know just how good these are and how much they can grow if they're not going to get game time.
I mean, I think it's Matt. I'm hoping that they're going to terminate Werner in January, and I'm hoping that he's going to get 2 or 3, well, maybe 2 proper players in, and then hopefully loaning these players out. Because if not, they're not going to get any game time. Because the further the competition goes, Man U in the quarterfinals, League Cup, he's not going to play them. You know, further on in Europa, he's not going to play them in the league. He's not going to play them.
Mm-hmm.
He just obviously doesn't trust them.
Well, it answers the question, doesn't it? Of again, a lot of people that talked about youth projects. Again, I think a lot of people started to make up what is happening at Spurs. You know, and it was almost a way to deflect the transfer window. It was almost a way to say, look, and I've been really clear about this, Mark. No way is this revisionism. No way am I saying I want to watch Højbjerg. I want to watch Lo Celso. I want to watch Ndombele. I want to watch Skip. I want to watch Dyer. I want to watch Sanchez. You get what I'm saying? But the problem is we sold all those players and everyone was going, oh my God, we got rid of Deadwood. Oh, well done, Lang and you got rid of Deadwood. That's great. But you replaced them with loads and loads of kids that you're not going to give minutes to. And that's a real dangerous thing for a young player. Now, I agree with your earlier point. For me, I think you bring in an Archie Gray and a Bergvall alongside a couple of other, or at least one senior pro midfielder, and you say, right, we're going to send you out on loan until Christmas. As a minimum, we're going to send you out between August and Christmas, go and play 20 games this side of the year for Swansea City, for Leeds United, for pick your team, right? Minutes in the legs against tough opposition in terms of, you know, that the championship is relentless. They're men, they're grown men. They tackle, they fight, they kick. That for me is what I think we should have done. But instead, I think it's a great point. And let us know in the chat, how do people think? How do we get the development out of these players if they're not playing? If they, like, I mean, Archie Gray, how can he develop if we're going to play him at right back or left back every time the boy's going to play football? How does he develop as a central midfielder? How does Bergvall develop when he's not even getting 5 minutes in Premier League games?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, I don't know if you watched the game the other day, Atalanta versus Napoli. You know, proper men play. You know, Atalanta very good. I mean, the winger we should have got there who scored the hat. You know, I think he got 2 or 3 that game. And Edison, I've been banging on about if you'd have just brought 2 quality players in, them 2, which we could have afforded for maybe 80 to 90 million, and then, as you said, put these kids on loan and said, you know, have 6 months out or a year and then bring in. And let's be honest, they could learn so much from quality international players rather than just being stuck on the bench, looking up at the air, hoping that they're getting 2 or 3 minutes to do a wonder pass or something.
And do you know the funny thing is, Mark, is even then, when we talk about this being a youth project, when the substitutions are made, there is a pecking order. This isn't just Spurs. This is most clubs. Senior pros that are on the bench tend to be your first your first substitution. And if we look at the substitutions that took place yesterday, so I'm going to mute you again. If we look at the substitutions that came on yesterday, it was Son. It wasn't for Moore. It was for Richarlison. Bentancur. It wasn't for Archie Gray or Bergvall. It was for Basuma. It was Ben Davis was coming on because there's no Dorrington on the bench or an Ashley Phillips who's on loan at Stoke. And I'll stand by what I said, Mark. I think in the summer when people talked about youth projects, I thought it was a fancy term for saying we went cheap. And as the season goes on, it's all right after 10 games. As the season goes on, big injuries, suspensions, fatigue, then you're going to see how good are these kids when you have to throw them in and they've only had 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Because I don't think they're getting any... I'll ask you this question. Has Archie Gray been able to develop at Tottenham yet? Is he developing as a footballer? I'm not knocking him, by the way, but I'm saying he gets so few minutes, and when he does, they're at left back or right back. Is he going to develop this season?
It just seems like another. Is it Clark, who's now at Sheffield, Sunderland, who was with us from Leeds, the winger, who didn't get any game time? Nobody knew how good he was. He might have been good, we just don't know, but didn't get enough game time. Archie Gray's not even playing in a position he wants to play. He's been stuck at right back. He wants to be playing centre midfield or number 6. Well, if he's been stuck there, you do anything the manager says because you just want to be in the team. But if you're not playing the right position, surely you can't develop your best skills. You can't do.
Well, especially the fact that we're in 4 competitions. You would think that we can rotate more. But again, I think it shows to the lack of quality brought in the summer that we're very reliant on the senior pros. I think a lot of people talk a lot like, sorry, my mate Lena, I'll call Lena out all the time. I just think Lena, sorry. Again, when you say we're starting our strongest 11 versus United in the cup, sure. But when you're saying Lucas, Bergvall and Gray weren't signed to be direct starters, so why did we sign them then and not sign any senior pros instead of them? So in Lena's thing, right? What we're saying here is, by the way, Angus, you're in the chat saying, can you jump on? The link's in the chat, mate. If you want to jump on, the link's in the chat. And I will bring Ryan on in a minute because he's been waiting patiently. The thing for me is, if you're not buying them to be first team starters, it doesn't make sense. In one hand, this Lena is saying, you don't want to put them out on loan. We want them in the first team environment. On the other hand, we're saying, they weren't bought for this season. Well, which one is it? If we're buying young players and they're not for this season, get them out on loan and get them minutes in their legs. Get them senior football marks, surely.
Yeah, I mean, Lena, what you got to think about as well, though, apart from Archie Gray, Bergwell didn't come from that great a division. You stick him in the Championship for a year or 2, that's a much harder division than what he's been playing in. Beef him up a bit, make him tougher, then bring him in. To make him in the first team squad at 18, 19 with not really that good a quality football under his belt and then just not playing him at all, it does reach a bit of a Levy signing. All these being Levy signings. 5 years time down the line, we'll sell him for 70 million, 60 million. But the problem with that is, though, if you don't development, they're going to go backwards. You're not going to get that money for them because they're not playing football.
Agreed. And just quickly, I'm gonna call this out. So why aren't Arsenal loaning out Miles, Lewis Kelly, and Nwaneri? Well, straight away, those 2 kids are 17, right? If I'm not wrong, Angus, you're in the chat. You're an Arsenal fan. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Aren't Miles, Lewis Kelly, and Nwaneri 17? If they're 17, they're not allowed to be loaned out. If I'm not wrong, I don't think you're allowed to go out until you're 18. Secondly, Miles, Lewis Kelly and Nwaneri have come through the youth team. A huge difference to paying 40 million for Archie Gray, 10 million for Bergvall and not loaning them out. Again, Morton at Liverpool. Morton is through their youth team, right? When you're saying, why aren't United loaning out Fletcher and Amas? I don't know who Fletcher and Amas are, but they didn't buy them in. Yeah. So again, Lena, I'd love you to come on. You never come on. You never actually grow a pair and come on and have the debate. I just think it's if you buy them, right? I get it. If Lancashire's not going to go out on loan, cool. Mikey Moore, I believe, is too young to go out on loan. But if you're going to bring them in, sorry. If you're going to bring them in for £50 million between them and not give either of them game time, I don't know. I don't know what we're hoping for. But look, Mark, I do need to get on Ryan. He's been waiting patiently, so I'm going to say thank you very much. And of course, you're always welcome next week, sir. Okay.
Cheers, Savva.
Big up. You take care, mate.
Cheers, Savva, mate.
Bye bye. So I'm going to bring on Ryan in 1 second. You know, but Phil, this goes to the point. This goes to the point of the transfer window when everyone, Phil, was losing their minds at this youth project. And we don't need senior pros. We've got these young kids that don't play football. It goes to the point, I think, again, our fan base just completely gets excited. Just quickly, Stuart, big up to you, my man, and said, hi, Savva, how much do you think Sarr's improved? I think Sarr's had a couple of good games. But again, I mean, there's been games this year where I've not noticed him. So for me, I want to see it over. I want to see it over 6 months, 9 months. I'm a big fan of let's not rave about players after one game. I know that everybody yesterday was messaging me last night going, oh my God, Solanke's put you in the mud, Solanke. And it's like, okay, so how comes people can say that when he has one good game, but when he doesn't score in 8 of the other games, we just ignore it? Look, the link is in the chat, by the way. I'm putting it in again. If anyone would like to come on, the link is there. And I'm going to bring on Ryan. How you doing, my man? You good?
No, you're good, Savva, man. Look, I can't believe how different these last 2 games have gone, to be honest, Savva, right? Because especially yesterday, I can't criticize Ange for anything, and you know me well enough now that I don't like Ange as far as I can throw him.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
And but I can't criticize him though for yesterday. I can't. There's nothing I can criticize him for that second half. I have to put my hands up. He proved me wrong yesterday, but can he do that on a day in a game in, game out basis? I don't think he can.
Look, I think what people get wrong about someone like me, Ryan, and I think I'm a bit like you in this, is I'm all for it. If there's nothing to critique, I'm not going to critique, right? Yesterday, I said, first half, I was underwhelmed. First half, it felt like we were going through the motions. It felt like we didn't have any ideas how to break down Villa. Second half, whatever he said at half-time was brilliant. I thought the substitutions, he got them right. People could have questioned Richarlison for Son. It worked. People could question Basuma coming on for Bentancur. It worked. People could question Davis coming on. It worked. And he got it right. I like to think I'm fair. Yesterday, absolutely brilliant. Credit where credit is due. The problem is with us is we just go back 7 days, Ryan, and it's the complete opposite to everything I've just said there about yesterday. Now apply the complete opposite that we saw against Palace, where the substitutions were poor. He didn't do any changes at halftime. His tactics didn't change, didn't work. And that's what I'll say. I will critique when I need to critique. I will praise when I need to praise. And if fans don't like it and think that they just want a YouTuber that just says, oh, it's lovely and it's sunny and it's rosy and everything smells great.
And it's all fluffy and everything, then it's not you. That's not you, Savva.
Mate, I can't be like that. It's crazy. At the end of the day, listen, I don't know if you saw my video this morning, right? My video this morning, I did. I turned around and said, and again, look, we can show it right now. I've still got the link saved here. You can show it right now. What I will give Spurs maximum credit for, look at that home form. I can't knock that. Only the 1 point more would have seen us joint top in the home form. I can't knock that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Here's the away form. 4 points and in 14th. So again, when people lose their minds, when people go, oh my God, it's amazing. Brilliant. Poor. That's what we are week in, week out. Brilliant and poor. Brilliant and poor. Brilliant and poor. So for me, am I warming to Ange? I think when I see things like yesterday, I think yes. When I see things like Palace, I think no. And I just need, I'm not even going to say the word. You know the word I need, Ryan. You know the word I need.
Consistency. There you go.
It's all I want.
But do you know what, Savva, right? I want consistency, especially this week, this Sunday coming, because the day, exactly a week from today, I'm going to give you my age. I'm going to be 35. A week from today.
Whippersnapper. Whippersnapper.
Yeah. So they better be consistent in the league this weekend. I'm telling you, because otherwise I'm going to have a shit start to my birthday. Sorry about my French. I don't want to get you cancelled.
No. You can say shit. That's not a problem. You won't get cancelled for that. By the way, the Hitman. First of all, I saw you absolutely mugging me off in someone else's chat the other day. Absolutely fine. Say what you want about me, but here I am. I'm here right now, and all that's standing between you running your mouth off and mugging me off to other people right now is clicking on that link. I saw what you were saying about me. I saw you slagging me off. To answer your question, is 8 wins out of 10 not consistent? We're talking about the league. Yeah, I'm not talking about beating Karabag, Coventry, Ferencvaros. We should be winning those games. I'm talking about league, because the league form is what will decide whether Daniel Levy keeps a manager or not. Right? So, yeah. So if we want to talk about 8 wins from 10 not consistent, sure. But how many of those games? Let's be fair. If he had lost to Ferencvaros, to Coventry, to Karabag, or AZ Alkmaar, I would be truly worried. So for me, there we go. There you go. The Hitman. Is that consistent? Is it? 3 Premiership. I mean, Ryan, when you look at this stat, it came out today, right? And I don't know if anyone saw this. I'll show you on my phone. 1 second. Here we go. So this went around today. Hopefully you can see that. Not my Facebook page, by the way. I don't have Facebook. You can see that. That says Big 6 away from home in 2024. So it's 11 for City, 11 away wins for City in the league, 10 away wins for Arsenal, 8 for Liverpool. Chelsea and Man U, who I'm told we're better than, have got 6 and 5 respectively. We've got 3. That's a huge concern, isn't it, Ryan? Whichever way people...
Do you know what, Sav? It's funny because, do you know what? I'm like you in this year, right? I'm not too worried about the home form at the moment, because the home form, I feel like we can go anywhere. We can go anywhere on the pitch, yeah, right, and probably absolutely wipe anybody off White Hart Lane. But away from home, I'm not concerned. I'm deeply worried. There's a big difference, and having only 3 away wins in the whole of 2024, it's not good reading. It's like reading a horror story and then it come into fruition. So that's a little bit scary in that department, and I don't enjoy reading stuff like that, to be honest, Sam.
Look, the thing is, and by the way, listen, it's comments like this where Mohammed Abdirahman said it takes time to find consistency. Yeah, but 3 away wins in 2024, that's not, it takes time. That's just poor. You're allowed to say it. Think people want to see some joy and positivity. Yeah, but the difference is, Mohammed, I'm not an 18-year-old who's never seen Spurs win games before. I think this whole notion that every time we win a game, everyone, like I'll be honest, I'm embarrassed. I'll call them out. If they think it's them I'm talking about, they can message me privately. When I watch these YouTubers that when we score, they're falling off their chairs, they're running around their room, they're throwing their hat on the floor, I just find it's all a little bit over the top. That's the joy and the positivity you want to see. Mohammed said Spurs were brilliant yesterday. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and sing and dance about it. We need consistency. By the way, TB said, if you look at the chart of potential, what chart of potential is this? You'll see why Levy snapped them up. Like I said, Bergvall, Odegaard and Gray were rated in the top 5 youth players in the world for potential. Where on earth have you made that nonsense up from?
Right, TB, I'm going to say this. Sorry, Sav, I've got to cut in at this point. Right, TB, if you've got stats and actual hardcore facts at that point to show Savva, please come on the show and show Savva them, because I don't believe that for 1 minute, and I don't think Savva will ever believe it until he actually sees it with actual hardcore facts. So show us the facts, please.
I tell you what I find funny about it is if we're going to say they're 3 of the best 5 youth players in world football, I could name 10 Barcelona youth players that are better than all 3 of them, right? That's just Barcelona, right? Like, what are we doing here? Where are we making this up from? Have you seen anything in Odeberg, Gray, and Bergvall when they play that makes you go, oh my God, you are... No, they're young. They need time. But they're the most rated youth players in world football. What are we talking about here? This is where we just get all a little bit silly.
And I think there's more talent in my little finger than there is in anything else. Sorry, my phone's going off.
Oh, that's all right, no worries. I'm going to put you on mute for 1 second. It's really loud.
Yeah.
Billy, just quickly, when you're saying from we can't beat good teams to we're not consistent, Billy, I don't know if you watch my channel. I use the word consistent and consistency every single day. To the point, Billy, well, this is how I know you're a troll. The point, Billy, of this picture has been on my YouTube channel for a year and a half. Right? Context and consistency. So please never come at me and say I've changed. It's madness. It's madness. These people. I'd love to invite these people on, but I think they're trolls. These people that ever go at me, right? Billy, come on and talk to me about what I said you think is wrong. For me, we do need to beat better teams. Winning 1 game against Aston Villa doesn't change that. It's a good start. We need to win more. The Hitman, he's got some balls. He's coming on in a bit, is he? Okay, there he is. There he is. Look at his face. He's real. I take it back. I'm looking forward to debating him. Look, Ryan, just before I move you on and get Angus on, because I think Angus wants to vent about his Arsenal, that he told us Mbappe signing. He told us they're winning the league this year and they're not doing well, and he's hurting. I can see it in his eyes right now. He is hurting. Angus, try being a Spurs fan, man. Try being a Spurs fan. Ryan, I'm going to say this to you. We've had a great week. Without a doubt, it's been a very good week. I fully expect us, I don't know about you, I fully expect us to beat Ipswich. I fully expect us to batter Ipswich. I want to see what we do after the Man City game. Yeah, I'm not going to judge Spurs on an away game at the Etihad. It's Man City at the Etihad, right? After that, I think our away games are the likes of Bournemouth, Forest, Southampton, Everton. These sort of games, that surely, my question to you is, Ryan, those sort of games, we've got to start picking up some away wins against those clubs, haven't we?
Yes. And do you know what? It's funny because I've got a weird feeling about this, Savva. I'm not saying we're going to win, right? But I've got a weird feeling we might actually pick something up at the Etihad, whether it's a draw or something like that. I've just got a weird feeling because every single time it's like we're like West Ham when we go to the Etihad, right? We always up in our game by about another 5 or 10%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, absolutely. Listen, all I'm saying is when I go to Man City as a fan, when Spurs go to Man City, I don't use that as the benchmark for, oh my God, we lost to City away. It's City, right? If you get a point at City, you celebrate that like a win. Man City have lost 1 Premier League game in 33. They've nicked 33 games and 1 defeat. So I don't take anything by that. If we can get a draw there, brilliant. For me, the important are Southampton, Everton, Bournemouth. Yeah. These are the clubs where we've got to go and we've got to stop the rot. We've got to pick up some 3 points on the road because great having a good home record, Ryan.
Yeah, of course it is. It's beautiful. It's all sunshine and roses at home, but when we're going away to that, can we do it on a wet? Well, like they say, can we do it on a wet, rainy, cold, wet, rainy night at Stoke?
A wet night at Stoke. Well, listen, Ryan. As always, much love, dude. You've got the loudest phone in the world. But thank you for coming on. I'm going to bring on Angus, and then after that, we've got the Hitman. I'm looking forward to that conversation. So big up. Thanks for coming on, bro. And as always, you're always welcome. You know that, all right?
Yeah, much love, bro.
Yep. Big up to you. Brian has said, Sav, your link isn't working. I don't know what to say, mate. I've put the same link out for everyone. It is that link. Now, Angus, I'm about to bring you on. Angus, what's going on at the Emirates? Why are you not happy? Why has Edu left? What's going on? Talk to me.
I'm done. I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done.
Angus, a couple of weeks ago, you were in my chat talking about winning the title.
I know, but I had my glasses on then. Now they're off.
So
I'm done with this bullshit.
What are you done with? Talk. I'll let you have the floor, but answer.
I'll take her out. I'll take her out. I'm not take her out because he's not going to take us anywhere. He's not going to take us anywhere.
Okay.
We're not going to. We want the big trophies. We ain't going to get them. He's taking as far as we can do.
Yeah, I mean, look. Let me ask you, what's changed? Because this is a manager that has, and I'm not telling you how to feel.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want. It's your club. This is a manager that he's had you challenging 2 years in a row. Yeah.
We bottled the league one season as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But what's changed then? Because this year you guys don't look as, I'm not saying you can't get it back, but you don't look like Liverpool and City look the business. They look like top teams. You guys just look like us, like Villa, like Chelsea. You look like the also-rans. What's gone on?
The window. Every Arsenal fan's been saying, "Oh, we've got quality. We've got Calafiori. We've got this." Our squad depth is nothing. We needed quality in the summer. Nothing.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Arteta's sacked tonight, right? Arteta gets
Please,
sacked.
God, let that happen.
How quickly
Please, God, let that happen.
for the Arsenal fans. The funny thing is, all summer I've had Spurs fans saying, "Oh my God, you don't like Ange. Look at Arteta. If we give him 4 years, 5 years like Arteta, right? If you sacked Mikel Arteta tonight, and I'll ask I'll ask everyone my comments as well. Who do you bring in? Who's the manager that you want to take Arsenal to the next level with this squad?
Trying to think. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind Nagelsmann.
Okay, what's Nagelsmann going to do that Arteta doesn't do?
That's the big question. Play attacking football, not totally purist football.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to feel. You considerably dropped off. Look, let's bring that league table up again and see what's
Do
happening.
we really have to? I really don't look at the table.
We do. I mean, if we look at this table now, I'm going to ask you a question. I want to get some honesty from you here, Angus. I know obviously we have the back and forth banter in the chat, but look, you're level with Chelsea. We've got a brand new manager. A lot of change.
And how long has he been there for? And we were in a 5-year process.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He's been there for 4 or 5 months. You're level with Aston Villa. You're 2 points above Spurs and Brighton. I'm going to ask you this question. As things stand, bearing in mind, we're only 10 games in, are Arsenal in danger of dropping out of the Champions League places altogether? Are you there? Angus, I can't hear you. You've completely gone.
Now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. Are you in danger of dropping out altogether?
Yeah. It's possible.
Wow, everybody. Angus, as we live and breathe. Everyone gets worried about you, Angus, because every time Arsenal lose a game, you're not seen anywhere on YouTube for about 48 hours, and then you come back out. Okay. Realistically, do you see, not what you want to happen, realistically, do you see Arsenal having just lost Edu this morning? Do you see Arsenal at any point letting go of Arteta? And your next game, if I'm not wrong,
is Chelsea away on Sunday.
is Chelsea away on Sunday. So if you lose that game or draw that, you're going to be below us when we beat Ipswich.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the tipping?
I'm done. I want Kroenke out, Arteta out, all of them gone.
Wow. Well, look, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna judge you for it. It's your club. You say what you want. Absolutely. Listen, Angus, any last thing you want to say before I let you go and bring on the Hitman?
Arteta out, Kroenke out, up the Arsenal.
I can't believe how quickly the Arsenal fans in about 3 weeks have gone from this is the year we win the league and wrestle it away from City to Kroenke out, Edu out, Arteta out. Let's get rid of all the players. Angus, listen, I would say good luck to your team on Sunday, but I'm not going to. It's going to be an interesting one. If he loses against Chelsea, could be in all sorts of trouble. People are talking about Terzic, the old Dortmund manager that got them to the Champions League final. Nagelsmann, Rob Frank wants him at Spurs. Jimmy has said Arteta ball is horrendous. Southgate is available. You
can piss off. He's you next manager, not mine.
Listen, I'm going to let you go. Someone else, by the way, just quickly, I said Ten Hag is available. You can take Eric Ten Hag. That would make me laugh. Make me laugh a lot. Listen, big up to you, Angus. Take care.
Big up.
And listen, I'll speak to you again soon, all right, mate?
Yeah.
Just
Bye.
remember, it's only football, all right?
Yeah, I know. No worries.
It's just football.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Savva, for having me on.
Take care, man.
Thank you. Bye.
Just before I bring on the Hitman, I've got the Hitman, and then I've got Abdallah or Condinho. I'm not sure what name I'm going to call him. If anyone else would like to come on, the link is in the chat. What I am going to say before I bring them on, guys and girls, there are 87 likes, which is absolutely dreadful. And by the way, thank you very much to everyone who helped me get over the 14k, and we've been flying. We're nearly at 14.1k already. We're only 7 subscribers away from 14.1. So if 7 people wanted to if 7 people would subscribe, that would be lovely. Let me bring on the Hitman. The Hitman, how are you? You're real.
I'm good. Savva, my arch nemesis, so to speak.
You think you're my arch nemesis? Do you know how many people hate me?
No. But we have opposing views. How about that?
Yeah, listen, absolutely. Do you know what? In all honesty, we have the banter back and forth. In all honesty, if we all had the same views, God, it would be boring YouTube, wouldn't it?
It would. It would be horribly boring.
So crap. So the floor is yours, man.
Yeah. All right. So to be honest, I would have preferred to come on after a loss, because I feel that's when you're at your best/worst, if you get what I mean. But man, like a lot of negative stuff in general. Okay, so in general, or just what you did right now, 3 away wins in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a fact. But if you look at the context, right, we had a new manager last year and we finished 5th. This year we are 7th, I think we're 7th. But there's a crazy logjam between 3rd place and 10th. So we're right there. We're playing great football, top of the league in terms of scoring, highest. And our defense, I think we're 4th, tied for 4th or something. So great improvement. So to me, I look at those things as opposed to, 3 away wins, terrible loss against Palace, etc., etc. Those kind of things. I focus on the positives.
Sure. Okay. So here's a little life lesson, right? Just because you only focus on the positives doesn't make the facts less true, right? And this is what we need to learn in life, surely. Yes, I can sit here as a YouTuber and go, oh, don't worry that we've only won 3 away from home. Don't worry about it. We are brilliant. We play great football. Look where we are in the league. Wouldn't be very objective, would it? And the problem is a lot of people don't like critique. And the problem is a lot of people, their standards are so low that you think 3 away wins, there's objectivity there. There's no objectivity there. That's awful. Whichever way you want to spin that. Oh, we've got a new manager. So 3 away wins in nearly a year of football. I don't care whether we've got no manager. 3 away wins is crap. And the reason I bring that up, the reason why other people bring it up to Hitman is because, again, we'll go to this trusted league table. Let me remove that comment. If we look at that, now imagine we didn't have such an awful away form. Where would we be?
I mean, you know, top of the table, first, second, whatever you want to call it.
Right. So me setting my benchmark high, me having a high bar in terms of what I want to see my football club achieve after 40 years of following them, is seen as negative by you because I bring the whole facts. The difference is I bring the whole facts. There are YouTube channels out there. It's not just YouTube. There are social commentary channels where they say things which shows we are brilliant. Fine. But that's not the true story, is it? We play good football sometimes. We don't always play free-flowing football. Yes, we score a lot of goals. I would expect us to because we kind of ignore the other side of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. Our home form is brilliant. No one's knocking that. But the point is, I don't know about you, I want Spurs to be better, don't you?
100%, 100%. So,
how do we do that? How do we do that then?
We talk about
this is a loaded double point. Right. First question, do you want Spurs to be better? You said yes. Second question is, if our home form was brilliant, how do we get better?
All right. So for me, I do want us to be better. And you talked about raising the standards. For me, there's another, I guess, YouTuber I kind of align with. I don't know if you know her, Kate. Are you familiar with her?
Kate, as in, just changed her channel name.
I mean, I've seen her. I think I've seen you guys on a few streams. I mean, I found your channel through DG, so I think I've seen you guys kind of.
Hang on, are you talking about Kate from The Perfect Match, who used to be just a girl who loves Spurs?
I can't remember. She's an older lady.
She won't like that.
Oh, I think
she does it with her
husband comes on every now and again.
Yeah, Kate. I know Kate. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm kind of in the same way in the sense that she said this season, a trophy. That's it. Trophy, league form. I think her actual phrase is she doesn't give a monkeys about the league, where we finish in the league. And I'm kind of in the same way where I'm not focused in the league position as much. And if we don't win a trophy this season, Ange should leave because, you know, I feel like that's a way to raise the standards. Like we need top 4. We've been there, we've done that, and we've been out. You know, so that's the way I see it. Trophy or bust kind of thing. But just generally, there's other positives. Like to me, the football is good, but Ange is also improving, right? So I was worried about after the Brighton second half. I was worried because he didn't really react to anything. Palace was a disaster, but he's doing things. He's doing a bit more in terms of tactical changes, you know, speedier substitutions, you know, he's doing, I think maybe it was the Brighton thing that kind of got him into shock, but I'm seeing better management from him. And with that, I believe you're going to get those better away wins and, you know, just a better Spurs overall.
And look, that's what I want. Listen, and to your point about what Kate said, yeah, look, each YouTuber has got their own opinion. I'm not here to knock anybody else's opinion on that. What I will say is this: it's easy for us as fans to sit here and go, "Oh, I don't care about the league." The difficulty is, I'm not saying you, but you might not care about the league. Kate might not care about the league. Everyone in this chat might not care about the league. Who does care about the league position?
I know where you're going at, but I don't know if that's true. But you're going to say the board, like Levy, those kind of guys.
If you're going to say that that's not true, let's look at, again, this is what comes with the history of knowing the history of the club, right? Daniel Levy has proven time and time and time again. Daniel Levy does not just care about winning a cup. So when we say, oh, don't worry about the league, that's fine. As a fan, Daniel Levy doesn't think like that. And I get it. Daniel Levy is looking at the pound note. Daniel Levy, how many times have we seen him pull the trigger when we're far away from fourth? The moment fourth becomes a real difficulty and, oh my God, we're 12 points away from fourth, boom, it goes. Now, we're not 12 points away at the moment, right? But when we sit here as fans and go, oh, don't worry about the league, we just want a cup. Again, my standards are higher than that. My standards aren't, oh, let's just win a cup and finish 17th. Whoa. Why? If you're good enough to win a cup, we should be good enough to be right up there challenging the top 4. That's what the big clubs do year in, year out. We want to talk a good game, but yet you've just come with such a low expectation of, well, don't really worry about the league as long as we win a cup. For
I would
me,
say that's a low expectation, though. Like I've literally said he should be sacked if we don't win a trophy, kind of thing. What I'm saying is that, especially this is what we're in a project, so to speak. Like we had win now managers, Conte, Mourinho. I think that the expectations have changed with Ange coming in. Like maybe it's not so
in
much.
what way? My expectations are lower than they've ever been with Ange compared
because
to
it's not a win man. You can tell it's not a win now situation. There's no way it was expected to win, let's say the league. I think it's more a 3-year type of timeline or something like that. Let's get us.
And do you believe
in 3 years?
Do you believe in 3 years Ange will win the league for Tottenham?
It should be personally year 3. He should be challenging for the big trophies. This is champs and prem.
Okay.
That's the way I'm doing it.
Let's remember that then. Because when we're talking about in 3 years he'll be challenging, but we're now in year 2 and we're talking about, don't worry about the away form. Don't worry about the league as long as we win a cup. You don't suddenly go from don't worry about away form, don't worry about the league to we're going to challenge.
Well, we haven't won a trophy in what? How long is it now? 17?
It'll be 17 years.
It'll be 17. We haven't. That's something new. Something we've focused on the league form for 17 years. We got to the Champions League, all of that. But now this is something different.
Man, you got to bring facts. No. I'm not letting fans get away with these lies. No. We've concentrated on the league for 17 years.
No, I'm saying the focus has been on taking your idea of Levy being focused on top 4 and champs and the championship money. So I'm saying let's flip it and let's focus on just getting the trophy.
But the Hitman, when you say let's flip it, Daniel Levy's still here. There's no you wouldn't see Daniel Levy going, you know what? Don't worry, Ange, finish 17th and win a League Cup. He's getting sacked if we finish 17th and he gets a League Cup, right? Or obviously, hypothetically, because we know that's not going to happen, the 17th position. But down the years, we've taken some of these cups very seriously. We've made multiple finals, multiple semi-finals. So this whole notion that now we've only concentrated on that. But listen, just quickly, I just want to, first of all, Mohammed, in those 40 years, how many of them has Daniel Levy been there? 24. Yeah, he, just like us, wants to win silverware, but he believes there is a more sustainable way to do so. How's that gone for 24 years? How's this sustainable process gone, Mohammed? Again, please jump on. Let's talk, because again, throwaway comments like this, I've heard this since I was 16. Daniel Levy believes there's a different way to do it. Don't work.
You know what? I'm actually on board with Mohammed. It's not that there's a different way. It's just we don't have the finances to compete with the big boys. Like,
yes,
this is
do.
not new.
We do.
Wait, we do? Or Joe Lewis? Are you saying Joe Lewis should be spending more money? Is that what you're saying?
Well, Joe Lewis isn't even part of the club technically anymore.
Well, so, technically, yeah. But
if we're gonna, listen, terminology is really important, right? We don't have, or we don't want to. Two very different things. Tottenham Hotspur spend money. Tottenham, in the last 5 years, I think there's only one team that has spent more money than us. I think it's maybe Chelsea. It's Chelsea, definitely. Maybe Man United. In that 5 years, we've spent more money than Man City. So we spend money. You know the difference? The difference is we don't want to pay the wages, and we want to spend that money on loads and loads of young players. So instead of going and buying free quality players, we go and have transfer windows where we sign 6 or 7 young up-and-coming players. So this notion that the money isn't there, this notion that we can't compete financially, it's not true. So when we're saying there's a more sustainable way to do things, I'll ask you the same way I'm going to ask Mohammed if he comes on. Show me the proof that works. Where's the proof that sustainable way works?
Okay, I'm not a finance guy, but I would say I think Liverpool are kind of closer to that model, where like John Henry, the owner, he's not just throwing chunks of cash. He's spending money based on club revenue. They're bringing in big players only based on player sales. So I know Coutinho going out and then bringing in Virgil van Dijk and Alisson. I think that was a direct reason why that happened. And I think we're the same way. And it's just a club strategy. Yes, the big boys, like the owners, Joe Lewis and, you know, all that, they could do more. But the strategy is the strategy, right? I don't think you can. It would be great if they did. And maybe this is with this new, what's that, the Newcastle lady or the old Newcastle lady coming in and bringing more investment, that kind of thing. But just based on what we have, I think that's the strategy. That's the strategy that they've decided to go with.
Sure, but it's a strategy that hasn't worked. So we can say that's the strategy all we want. The strategy doesn't work if you want to win big things. It doesn't work. Now, winning one League Cup, if we win the League Cup this year, no one's going to turn around and go, oh, the strategy works. 24 years of evidence that the strategy doesn't work. Now, I'm going to give you some numbers here, right? In the last 5 years, do you know how much money Liverpool have spent, and do you know how much money Spurs have spent in the last 5 seasons?
No, I don't.
Right? They've spent exactly the same amount of money, but Liverpool have made 180 million more than us on player returns. Now, the difference is when Liverpool go and buy a player, Liverpool will put them on good wages. Liverpool will buy a top player on good wages. Spurs will spend all of that money on loads and loads and loads of players that keep constantly getting rotated out of the squad because we call them deadwood. Right? So is that working? Is it sustainable? Is it that if we go back to his point, and I'm really intrigued by this, how Spurs, I don't understand how 24 years of Spurs fan under Levy still say things like this. He, like us, wants to win silverware. Show me any evidence. Show me the proof he wants to win silverware. He sacked, arguably, if I said to you that Jose Mourinho has been one of the greatest 5 managers in football history, that would be a good debate, right? I'm not saying definitely, but that's a good debate, right?
Fair.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
This manager that, like us, wants to win trophies, sacked him 5 days before a cup final. 5 days before a cup final.
Okay, that was a bit wild and crazy. But if you don't, you end up with a Ten Hag situation. And I don't know what his agreement is, but Ten Hag was dusty, to borrow Deji's word. But, you know, the fact that he won the FA Cup allowed him to stay there a bit longer. And maybe like a big time payout or anything like that. But I know what Levy was trying to avoid there, but it was still kind of insane to do it. But he was trying to avoid a certain type of scenario.
Right. Now, this is the new low. I'm going to be honest. This is a new low on my show, the Hitman, that I have got you coming on and justifying Daniel Levy letting go of a manager 5 days before a cup final. When I turn around and say things like Spurs fans have the club they deserve, I'm going to call it out to your face because I'm not two-faced. You are one of them. You've got what you deserve. You are justifying our chairman sacking one of the greatest managers of all time.
He was past it, but sure.
Pardon?
He was past it, but sure.
Who is saying he's past it? All right, but we're loving Ange. Ange has never done anything that Jose's done. When we're saying Jose was past it, hadn't he won a European trophy 2 years earlier with Man United?
Yeah, but the football was horrible. You know that. It wasn't like champagne.
Hang on. Do you want to have a debate about style of football or winning things? What debate are we having?
You can have both. Sorry, just because.
No.
Okay, style of football. Go to style of football, but just
style of football. Okay. Style of football. So Daniel Levy was well within his rights for sacking Jose Mourinho, one of the greatest managers there's ever been, one of the greatest managers in one-on-one encounters. Yeah? You listen to Pep talk about him. You listen to Ferguson talk about him. They don't want to take Jose on in a one-off game because that man will nullify the opposition, right? That man has a plan to win trophies. You're sitting here justifying that, the football was bad. Sure. But did you see the players Jose Mourinho had at his disposal? Right? First of all, the players he had. Second of all, did you see how many goals we scored under Jose Mourinho before you're calling the football bad?
Wait, Simon, what position were we in the league?
Mate, where should we have been in the league? Look at the players Jose Mourinho had. Jose was given Gedson, Doherty, Roden, Sanchez, Aurier, Sessegnon. Where did you want him to be with those players?
Hey, I just remember that season. I didn't like the appointment at the time, and he justified it. Like, we were terrible on him. He somehow navigated his way to a Carling Cup final. Insane to sack him before, but I know what Levy was trying to avoid, right?
But
Same thing with ECH.
What was he trying to avoid?
I don't know. Maybe he would have had to sign up to some crazy extension, or maybe some crazy payout for winning the trophy or something. But I just remember the sentiment around the club that time was dour.
Okay. So what we're saying is here, let's be fair. So you as a Tottenham fan just there have justified Daniel Levy sacking a manager 5 days before a final to avoid paying Jose a bonus if we won a trophy. You're justifying that.
I'm saying I wouldn't have done it, but I understand.
But how? How do you understand? Again, this is what I mean. When you have the audacity, right? And look, I'm not two-faced. I'll say it to your face. I'm saying it right now to you. You have the audacity, right? I'm never going to take you seriously again. You sit in my chat and talk about positivity. You sit in my chat and call me negative. You had the audacity to come on my show tonight and say, oh, but the problem is, Savva, you're finding the negatives when we're with, and you've just justified sacking a manager because we don't want to win a trophy if it means paying out a bonus because the football wasn't very good.
Yo, why are you guys talking like everything was fun and it was all, Jose, like we love this guy. It was bad. It was horrible.
Okay, Hitman. Now, again, I'm going to ask you to justify your lie. How have I talked like everything was great?
I'm just telling you, that's what you're getting. It was a terrible time. It was a terrible time under Jose. Right. We were not good. It wasn't watchable.
It was a terrible time under Jose, right?
Yeah.
Do you know in Jose Mourinho's tenure at Tottenham, do you know in his whole tenure at Tottenham what our average league position was?
I'm going to guess 6th or 5th. 5th or 6th.
4.4. I know it's a really stupid stat, but it was actually in between 4th and 5th. And look at the players Jose Mourinho had. Do you think with this squad now that Jose wouldn't have had them flying and firing?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
So now Ange is better than Jose Mourinho, is he?
I like what I'm seeing on the Ange. Like, I like our goal scoring, and I like our defense.
Again, thank you, Kuva. Jose, the man, again, let this sink in. The Hitman is sitting here live on my show saying Jose was past it, the football's terrible. So could someone in the chat please tell me, what year did Mourinho win the Europa with Man U? And then what year did he win the Conference League with Roma? Right? Now, the funny thing is, for a manager that was past it, and I'm not saying that he's what he was, but funnily enough, Jose Mourinho leaves Spurs, then gets to 2 European finals in 2 years with Roma.
Was it 2? Okay, I know he won at least one, but I know he definitely was.
No. He won one, but he got to 2 European finals back to back with Roma, right? Look at Roma now. Right?
How did he leave Roma, though?
Sorry?
How did he leave Roma?
What do you mean, how did he leave Roma? He was sacked.
Yeah, why?
I don't know the ins and outs of why he was sacked. He wasn't doing that great. But at Spurs, so if Spurs get to the League Cup final and 5 days before Levy sacks Ange, will you agree with it?
That would be nuts.
Right, but sacking one of the greatest managers that's ever lived and won more trophies than nearly every manager that's ever managed football wasn't nuts, no?
I said I understand why he did it, because of the repercussions after. It's the same thing with Eric Ten Hag. Ten Hag, everyone was like, is this guy going to leave? We should leave. But he won a trophy, and it was like, oh, man, we got to keep him a bit more. I don't know how much they paid him.
We're not Man United.
No, we're not. But I'm just saying,
we're not Man United. That's a team. Do you know what? You wouldn't be able to support Man United. I'm going to call out right now because I'm sorry if this is offensive. Your benchmark is so low. Your benchmark is I understand sacking managers 5 days before a final. I cannot wrap my head around this. And you have the audacity, bro. You have the audacity to call me negative, and you understand sacking serial winning managers before a cup final.
Hey,
Who's
like I
negative,
said,
me or
I
you?
understand it. Hey, I'm way more positive than you.
Yeah, you're way more positive than me.
You're like Mr. Box Office are like two peas in a pod kind of thing.
Mr. Box Office and I are nothing alike each other. Big up to Alex, by the way. Sorry. So tell me, what are you more positive about than I am?
This way the season's going, right? Like, so Brighton was bad. The second half of Brighton was bad, but it's happened before. Like, this is football. I think this season has actually had the most 2-0 like comebacks in Premier League recent history. The game against West Ham, 3-0 up, and ended up tying 3-3. Arsenal up 4-0 against Newcastle, ended up tying 4-4. So these like crazy comebacks or teams collapsing, they actually happen, right? Palace was the only really bad game that I've seen from Spurs.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Again, the Hitman, you want to pass yourself off as positive. What you're passing yourself off as is deluded, right? This notion that you're more positive than me because you spin defeats into positives is bullshit. I'm going to call it out right now. When we lose, we lose. It doesn't matter how many people like you want to come on and pretend, yeah, but we didn't deserve to lose. We lost, right? We didn't deserve to lose. We lost. We lost at Brighton because of shit management, right? We lost at Palace, shit management, right? We beat Villa, great management, right? We beat Man City, great management. I can say both. I can say that was great, that was shit. You're unable to. You're an excuse maker, and you don't like facts. Oh, you've hurt my feelings because you've pointed out that we've only won 3 in 2024. If that hurts your feelings, if you think that's negative, that says more about you than it does about me. If you don't like the cold, hard facts. But again, our fan base is so our benchmark is so low. Let's have a look at your highlights since you've been on, right? Let's have a look at your highlights since you've been on this show. You understand sacking a manager, right, before a cup final. One of the greatest managers of all time, with one of the best histories in finals. You understand sacking him. That is not a positive person. That's a loser's mentality. Let's go to the next one. The next one, right, is, oh, we've only played bad once this season against Palace. Really? Really? Is that true? Coventry was shocking. The second half against Leicester was shocking. The second half against Brighton was shocking. The Newcastle collapse was shocking. Yeah? Palace was shocking. Sorry, against Arsenal, we didn't do anything. It wasn't shocking, but we didn't do anything. All you're doing to seem more positive than me is praising failure.
I don't know about all that. But like I said, stay positive, man. It's only football.
No, hang on. It is only football, but don't just tell me to stay positive. I'm positive when we do well. When we lose, I critique. The problem is what you want. You want a YouTube channel where it's all fun, it's all nice, and oh, don't worry that we lost to Palace. Like that's what you want, isn't it?
No,
right?
Hang on. Like I said, the issues. Brighton, for me, the second half of Brighton, I was a bit worried because I didn't see any reaction. But since then, he's definitely seems like he has more tactical nous around him.
And Palace?
Then I said I'm not necessarily as focused on the league this season. It's more about the trophy, how he does in the tournaments, and if he wins a trophy. And if he doesn't win, then he should go. Because if you start, sacking managers mid-table and all those kind of things, who are we going to bring in? Someone has to come in and you have to kind of start all over again. So at least for me, like I said, try and give him to the end of the season.
Sure, but this notion of give him to the end of the season, I've not said don't give him to the end of the season. This notion, every show, everyone comes on and goes, give him to the end of the season. 1, it's not my choice. 2, it's not your choice, right? But before you go quickly, I want to show you this. Right? Let's just remember, right? This is the manager that you agreed with sacking, right? Have a look. Benfica, right? Benfica and Union Delau, right? We're going to leave those alone before he properly got started as a manager. Porto won the Europa League and the Champions League. Chelsea won the league, the cup, the FA Cup, the League Cup, blah, blah, blah. Inter Milan won the treble. Real Madrid won everything but the Champions League. Chelsea, right? Chelsea went there, won everything again, right? Man United, a really crap Man United, won a League Cup and the Europa League. Then he comes to Tottenham. And we have the audacity to sack this man before a cup final. Then he goes to Roma immediately after leaving us, right? He goes to Roma immediately after leaving us and gets to 2 European finals and wins one of them. And you condone sacking this manager, you have what you deserve.
Hang on. This is what I was saying about that. It was at what cost? I don't know. Maybe he wins a trophy and then he gets like, I don't know, like an automatic 5-year extension or something. And I think, I mean, Daniel Levy's book is going to be amazing, but I think that was the only reason you can justify that, right?
Sorry.
There was something in the back room. At what cost? Yeah, I think that's the only thing I can think.
What do you mean?
Levy was trying. That's what I think Levy was trying to avoid. There was definitely something that tied Jose winning a trophy that made it wise for, quote unquote, wise for Levy to sack him, right? There's definitely something, I don't know if it's bonus financial payment or automatic extension of some sort. But I just remember watching and I didn't like Spurs at that point. Like, we would have won a trophy, but at what cost?
So I need you to explain this to me. What do you mean winning a trophy at what cost? What would have been bad after winning a trophy?
5 more years of Jose. 2 more years of Jose would have been horrible.
Okay, so we can give Ange time to build, but we don't want to give one of the greatest managers in history time to build.
No, but Jose, I think he had a really short contract too, right? Like, it wasn't like...
That's not the point. You've just said the downside to winning the cup with Jose would have been
potentially
more Jose for a couple more years.
Potentially, yes.
Right, listen, I know you've got to go. You're messaging me privately saying you've got to go. Listen, we'll carry this on. But dude, I'm sorry. You can never sit in the chat and call me negative while justifying sacking a winning manager. And you'd rather that than winning a trophy. That is awful. Sorry, mate. That is
okay. All right.
Dreadful.
Take care.
Take care. Guys, girls, sorry, I don't get it. This is what Spurs has come to. I'm the negative one, but these fans out here don't want to win trophies. Like, it's madness, absolutely madness. Let me bring in
either way, whether we want to call me. My YouTube name is Condinho when I'm on panels and stuff like that.
You know, I'm not going to say Condinho because there's some I could easily slip and get that very wrong. Mate.
Long time no see. Good to have you
that.
back on YouTube. No, it's fine. It's fine. Good to have you back on YouTube. Great to see you back on YouTube.
Yeah, it's been a while now. It's been a while.
I've been on your channel before. I think it was a couple of years back. I was in uni. Now I've finished. It's been now a year without out of uni, and I haven't been able to find a job. It's degrees mean nothing nowadays. Degrees
tough
mean
out
nothing.
there, man.
No.
It's tough out there.
I think.
So what is it you want to say? And thank you for being patient.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What is it you want to say?
No, in general, I actually like Spurs, the way you guys play and stuff like that, instead of the... What I was baffled with your previous caller about complaining about Jose. Okay, his football is not attractive, but sacking him before a cup final, this is Jose Mourinho. No matter how washed he is, he is the kryptonite to Pep. I genuinely reckon you could have won that cup final, but sacking him before a cup final just made no sense. But yeah, I think the bit.
Can I just tell you something, just really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so, and I know you didn't bring this up, but when we're sitting here praising Ange for the goals he scored, Spurs scored loads of goals under Jose Mourinho. For apparently a team that weren't very good, we scored a lot of goals. Right, here you go. Just so you know his stats under Spurs. In his 86 games as manager, right? In his 86 games, he scored 166 goals. So if my maths is not, if we're not too far off, that's nearly 2 goals a game, right?
Yeah.
Nearly 2 goals a game for Jose Mourinho. Like, what are we, like, in that time, he conceded 103, right? So Well, listen, I don't think it was that bad considering the players he had at his disposal. But anyway, listen, bro, go for it. The floor is yours.
I don't think he's washed in general, but that's a whole different conversation. This season, I think overall for the Premier League has been an awful transfer window, especially us. We made a profit. We sold Alvarez, not replacing him made no sense. The Rodri injury was coming.
Yep.
He had a massive break and stuff like that, and of course, an Arsenal player injures him, and I do think it was intentional. They went out there with malice to try get him injured. But ever since then, I've just been watching highlights. I'll be honest, I've been watching highlights of games because it's just been depressing without Rodri. We're getting cut through like a knife through butter. Anyone can get at us. Anyone. That defense is shocking. I've said this for years. People cuss me from my own fan base. How much more millions do we have to spend on this defense for it to keep a clean sheet? And people can cuss Edison all he wants. He saved us on the weekend. It could have been easily 4-5-6-0 on the weekend if it hadn't been for Edison, in my opinion. So
can I tell you why I'm laughing?
Yeah, go ahead.
You think you've got problems. Listen to
yourself. Yeah, I know. But this,
yeah. I love this. You've lost one game in 10.
No, it was coming. It was coming.
Yeah. You've lost one league game in 33. Is it 33 or 32? League game in
32, 33. Yeah, somewhat.
You've lost one league game in 32, 33. You're talking about being cut through. How bad's our defense? No one's beaten you. No one's beaten you for 10 months.
Savva.
What are we doing here?
Credit to LB. We have a combined age of a midfield of 95 years old. A combined age of a 95 years old midfield. It's shocking. Gundogan is not the same Gundogan as if from 21, 22 season, those 3 seasons that he carried us. He's not the same guy. Sure. I just don't understand this. People used to clown Rodri when he first came in and called him Plodri, a plunger. But for me, we live up to the name of Rodri FC. I do expect to sign someone in January. If we don't, in my eyes, because we are missing something. That midfield is shocking. That is shocking.
Let me try and bring this back to a bit of a middle ground. Let me throw some questions here, right? First and foremost, I get it, right? Any team in the world loses Rodri, they're not the same. Any team in the world.
Yeah.
Me, I've said this for 3 years. Rodri is the best footballer in world football. I think he has been for 3 years. I think he's sensational. I don't think there's anything he hasn't got. He scores goals. His tackling's brilliant. His passing's exceptional.
Yes.
His vision, his reading of the game. He's one of the best midfielders I've ever seen. I think superb.
Savva, sorry to cut you off, but I don't know if you analyze him the way fellow City fans analyze him. He's not a modern day number 6. He is, from the way we see him and the best way we describe him as, he's a deep 8. He's not your Busquets. He's not your Zubamendi. He is a deep 8. The way he goes forward, the way he defends as well, he is a deep 8. He's not a traditional number 6 or even a 6 in general by that definition. So that's no matter who we bring in, it's going to be a drop off, even if it's Zubamendi.
Right. So you've just answered my next point for me.
Yes.
And this is the thing. Listen, I don't doubt that any team in the world is going to drop off when you lose Rodri for a year. Considering you've lost your best player for a year, the fact that you are right. This is the funny thing. The fact that you've still only lost one game all season.
I know.
You're top of you whatever you're in the you're in the top 3 or 4 of the Champions League group or 5th or whatever you are in that Champions League group.
Yeah.
You're 2 points off Liverpool or flying, but let's be fair. The one thing I want to say, Condinho, is this. One, Man City do this every year.
Sorry to sound ungrateful. Sorry if I don't.
No. Listen, I get it. It's your team. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't sound ungrateful. I get it. It's your team. You've got high expectations, and that's what Pepper's built. Pepper's built you to the point where you lose one game in 33, and we're going, the defense is shit. We're being cut through. You couldn't support Spurs, mate. You really couldn't. You'd have a heart attack.
I would. The only reason is the standards have been risen.
Yeah, sure.
If I'm wrong, it's been risen. It's a victim of our own success. We can't. This is what I don't understand about our fan base in terms of I don't understand about our and by the way, I'm going to say this just to go on off on a tangent. Rodri didn't deserve the Ballon d'Or. Neither did Vinicius. Neither did Vinicius by the criteria. But that's a whole different conversation. It's just that summer window was shocking. We've had, I don't know how we got away with last summer, not the summer that's just gone, the summer before that. Arsenal did not capitalize. That's their own fault. And Liverpool, that's their own fault. We did not capitalize. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got a question. Okay. Now, listen, at the moment, City, you've got a lot of players out injured, right?
Yes.
You have. And contrary to belief, I'm teaching you to suck eggs here. You're a City fan. You know this. Contrary to belief, most football fans go, oh my God, Man City have got 25, 30.
Not a big squad, no.
Man City don't have a big squad. And I think Pep likes it that way. He knows how to rotate the size of the squad he has.
That's why I despise about Pep. He does not like. He doesn't like. He likes a small squad.
Hang on.
That's the one.
Surely no one can sit there and say the words.
Because
I despise about Pep.
No, because he's not perfect. I'm not going to complain because he's won us all the trophies. But there is something that for me I really dislike. I refuse to accept him complaining about the fixtures. You chose to have this small squad, so you deal with that. You deal with that. That's what I pull up about City fans. He has no right to complain about the fixtures because you chose to have a small squad and you complain about injuries. It's not good enough.
Hang on. I feel we need to bring a little bit of sensibility back here. How many things have you won since Pep Guardiola joined?
And credit where credit is due. I will always come here. Hang on.
Let me finish. How many things have you won? You are one defeat after 10 Premier League games. Most other clubs would die for that, right? You are without, at the moment, you're without Rodri and De Bruyne, arguably the two best players in the Premier League. Listen, we can argue who the others are, but arguably two of the best 3 or 4 Premier players in the Premier League, right? You are 10 games in, lost 1 with those 2 out, Walker's out, Grealish is out, Doku's out, Bob's out, right? You're seriously lacking. You haven't lost in the Champions League yet. You don't give a shit about the League Cup. Let's be brutally honest.
No, right? Because we won 4 in a row. When it comes to the League Cup, we won 4 in a row for that. So we don't really care about it.
Condinho. So what is it that we're complaining about? This is what I've got to throw at you now. What is it we're complaining about here?
It's the performances. It's the performances. And I'm not surprised. I wasn't having a meltdown with the fellow City fans who were complaining on Twitter. I never tweet. I just sit back and watch all the chaos unfold. I had no issue with us losing. It was coming. We should have dropped points against Wolves the other week. It was coming. It's a lack of preparation in the summer, in my opinion.
Okay,
that's unfolding. That's unfolding.
But when you say lack of preparation, all right. If buts and maybes are massive words in football, right? If Rodri and De Bruyne hadn't got injured, if Grealish was fit, if Doku was fit, if Bob was fit, I think you've got someone else out. I can't even think.
It would be sunshines and rainbows, of course.
Right, sunshines and rainbows. Then no one is turning around and saying we've had a shit transfer window, right? The difficult thing that Pep Guardiola's got, right? The difficult thing surely he's got is, all right, you guys say, well, we knew a Rodri injury was coming. Name me 3 players off the top of your head you're bringing in.
January is very tough to get.
No, hang on. In the summer,
in January, in the summer.
Players in Rodri's position that you're bringing in that turn around and go, yeah, I'll sit on a bench behind Rodri every single game.
Maybe Zubimendi. Maybe Zubimendi.
You see what I mean?
Maybe Zubimendi.
Okay, so Zubimendi, who sits on the bench for Spain behind Rodri, yeah, you think he's going to come and join and sit on a bench behind Rodri for Man City as well? You think for club, he's just going to sit and watch Rodri week in week out?
It would take a year for Rodri to be back to himself because ACLs are very hard to recover from.
Sure.
So he would be starting week in, week out.
You're bringing in Zubimendi.
Zubimendi. He's the only clear candidate. We've been linked to that. We've been linked to that guy from Torino, Samuel Ricci. A lot of people have raved about him, but there's no one.
All I'm saying is this: when you get to the end of the season and you win the Premier League again, none of this matters.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to win it because do you know what? I'm telling you things you know. And after this, I will have to get the next person on.
Of course.
By the way, Alex, if you want to come on, you're going to need to put your camera on, or I will go to the next person.
I
might bring on a few together. Condinho, let me just finish off with this, right? I can't believe this is a conversation. Like, this is absolutely crazy, right? You're Man City. You win everything, right? Yes, your football at the moment isn't as free-flowing as we all know Man City can be. Yes, you've ground out some wins, right? But every year, I think for the last 7 years, every single year for the last 7 years, I hear, oh, not from you, City don't look the same. Oh, City have dropped a game. Oh, my God.
No, but I've had it all before. Yeah, I know.
Hang on. Oh, Palace beat City. Yeah, City aren't as good. Pep's lost it. Pep doesn't know what to do. You get to January, you guys don't lose a bloody game, and then you go and win the league. And you're sitting here going, our defence is shit. I'll have your shit defence. If you don't want it, I'll have it.
What you beat us this month? What you beat us this month? What you beat us at?
Look, one-off game, sure, but this shit defence, like, dude, you came on and said, I've been telling everyone for 3 years this shit defence. In 3 years, you've won the Premier League every year.
Yeah, I know.
Champions League, FA Cups, League Cups. How shit could your defence
be? I know.
Or winning everything?
It's just the standards that has been set by Pep. We're only a victim of our own success at the end of the day. But I tell you this, the meltdown I'm looking forward to, it's not from our fan base. When we get cleared of the charges, what are people going to say? Because FFP will be dead by the end of the season. What are they going to be the excuses? Because people don't think this is all about sporting. It's what they're essentially accusing the club of is fraud. What you're accusing is fraud. So I don't know how you're going to accuse the deputy head of the UAE for fraud. So, and all these organizations are linked themselves. But yeah, I can't wait for that party. Party.
Absolutely. By the way, sorry, listen, I'm going to let you go. And listen, I've got a few people I need to bring on. Big up to you. I speak for all Tottenham fans when I say I wish we had your problems. I truly.
Don't worry, you may get Qatar. You may get Qatar. You never know. They're interested in getting you guys. You never know.
Take care, bro. I'll see you soon.
You too. See you soon. Bye.
Just quickly, Lena said, if Savva doesn't bring me on now, he'll be the real Dodger. I'm guessing this is Lena. By the way, I'm going to bring Lena. I'm going to bring on. I think this is Lena. Is this you, Lena? Hello? What? Hello? You're not there? Are you there?
Goddamn Slay.
Are you there? I can hear you now. Are you there? Hello? Oh well, right. I'm going to bring on. I'm going to bring on Ethan and Phil Coys because I don't want to be on here forever. We've already been going for a long time. Big up, gentlemen. How are we doing?
All good. You?
I'm very good. I can't believe what I've just heard about Man City.
That last guest, he wouldn't survive a week being a Spurs fan. I'm telling you now.
Imagine he supported Spurs. Can you imagine? One defeat in 30 defense is shit. I despise Pep for this. Jesus Christ. Do you know what? I kind of want Pep to go. Do you know what? Sod you then. See you later.
I think he's bored of winning trophies. I don't know.
Aren't we all? Ethan, how you doing? You well, my man? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you, Savva. How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm well. Some of the takes tonight. I've had Spurs fans telling me that we understand sacking managers before 5 days before winning a trophy, as it would have done more harm than good to win it. I've got Man City fans calling out Pep Guardiola. Have either of you got any really interesting takes that we can move this show forward with?
Well, I've got a couple of. Go on, Ethan. Go on.
Sure. I'm not sure about interesting takes, but I just wanted to dispel something real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for those who say they don't care about where we finish in the league. they do realise that the teams who win the cups are usually the teams fighting at the top of the table.
Do you know what? I think, other than Man United winning last year against Man City, you're 100% right. The Liverpools win the cups. The Chelseas win the cups. The Man Cities win the cups. The Arsenals win the cup. Yes, we can talk about Birmingham. We can talk about Swansea. We can talk about there was another anomaly, wasn't there, of someone who won the cup? Sure, Wigan. We can do all that, but you're right, Ethan. More often than not, the teams that win the cups don't say, you know what, we're going to win a cup. We finished 10th this year. Do you know? So I agree with you, but I'll ask both of you this. Did you guys get my point in terms of we can sit here as fans and say, oh, we don't care about great goal, by the way. Sorry, Brentford have just scored away at Fulham. Really good goal by Janelt. We can sit here as fans and say, we don't care so much about the league this year. But in reality, let's put our grown-up heads back on. That's really not how a football club thinks.
I think every fan cares about league position. At the end of the day, it's all about momentum for a team as well. So if we're, in confidence, so if we're finishing as high as possible as a club, then that only puts us in good stead for the future, for future seasons. So, for me, when people say, 17th in a trophy, I would love a trophy, definitely, but finishing 17th is not progression at all for me. Yep. So, for me, we deserve to be a Champions League team. We do. And there's a couple of points I like to bring up. I don't think fourth is progression as a club.
Okay.
For ourselves, because the amount of times that we qualify for that, we don't act on it properly as a club. So I don't think it's progression as a club. I think it's progression personally for Ange as a manager, but for a club of our side, I don't think it's progression. Progression for me is a trophy, and finishes as high as possible. And the second point I was going to...
Sorry, just on that point, just quickly, I just want to come back to that point. Surely, by definition of finishing fifth last year, fourth is the natural step, right? Now, obviously, first, second, or third, great, but surely fourth is progression from a league standpoint, isn't it?
What I meant was, as a club, it's not progression just finishing fourth. There has to be a trophy with that. There has to be a trophy with finishing in the Champions League places. Finishing fourth and no trophy this season, for me as a fan, seeing us being in the Champions League and finishing in them places, I don't think it's progression, because I think that we do that pretty much all the time anyway, as a club. So
it's an interesting debate. I mean, look, Phil, you're of age. I think Ethan looks a lot younger than us, if you don't mind me saying so. And Ethan, yes, you are. Ethan, are you in your 20s?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I've got to stop letting on 20-year-olds. I'm double your age in 2 years. Look, we remember the days, Phil, where top four wasn't a saying. You know what I mean? We remember the days where if you didn't win the league, it was just, we finished second, right, or third. It wasn't a top four, and Champions League kind of came and changed all that, didn't it? It changed. Look, became a trophy, and funnily enough, it kind of started with the whole Arsenal thing, didn't it? Where it was like everyone was like, "Oh my god, fourth is Arsenal's trophy."
And not only that, it's the money as well, along with that, Savva, that comes with it. Because fans know how much money comes.
Won't say, oh, we finished 14th. That's all right. We won the League Cup and won 100 grand.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's not just it is the money that comes with that.
Sorry, just quickly, Lena, we tried to get you on, and your mic wasn't working. So please Listen, look at the state of this. Look at the state of this. Everyone watched you, Lena. Come back on. Come and join the chat, Lena. Come and join the chat. We'll all school you together. But Ethan, let me get your take on this then. Let's say no trophies all season. Let's just say Spurs go out of all the trophies, all right? Hypothetical. But we finish 4th. Good season? Progression or not?
It's progression for Ange, but, you know, it also depends on what kind of season all the rest of the teams have. I mean, Aston Villa have had a very good start to the season, although we obviously beat them on the weekend. I think Arsenal have had a bit of a tough start, but I expect them to pick it up within the next few weeks. So it's obviously progression from 5th to 4th, but I personally don't think that would be enough for me to buy into Ange and what he's trying to do.
Okay, so the standards are high, right? So right at last, you two have got standards, unlike the previous Spurs caller who didn't want to win trophies because it could have done more harm than good. Look, it's an interesting one, right? Because at the end of the day, we can turn around and say we've got to win a trophy. Arsenal fans turn around and say we've got to win a trophy. City fans, we've got to win a trophy. Well, City will win a trophy. Liverpool fans, we've got to win a trophy. Chelsea fans are sitting there saying we have to win a trophy. Man United fans, I'm seeing, are saying new manager coming in, we can save our season by winning a trophy. That's the problem, right? I get it. There's no God-given right, but are we the most desperate of all those clubs for a trophy, guys?
The problem is as well, Savva, Ange has put that expectation on us by telling everybody that we will win a trophy this season.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I do think sometimes what Ange says gets taken a little bit out of context. But
yeah,
he has
of course.
He does put pressure on it. But sorry, just quickly, look, guys, Lena, stop. Lena, you were kicked from the studio. Everyone watched me try and talk to you for about a minute, and you weren't there. Come back on and stop. Oh my God, this frustrates me. But whether or not Ange just put the pressure on or not, Tottenham as a club, we need a trophy. We've got to get this monkey off our back. We've got to get to the stage where all these other fan bases are laughing at us. Guys, we have Spurs YouTubers that go onto these panel shows. We laugh at Chelsea for having 2 bad years. We laugh at Man United even though they're winning trophies. We laugh at Arsenal for Arteta failing at the moment. All the while, we've not won a trophy for nearly all of Ethan's life.
Sorry, it's the competing for a trophy for me. We haven't looked at competing for a trophy, let alone win one, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, just seeing that as a Spurs fan would be positive. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's unrealistic to say that we couldn't win a Carabao Cup or a Europa League this season. I think they are, within our grasp, with the teams that, I see in the tournaments. So I don't think it's out of the question. But for me, like I said, we need to win a trophy for progression and to move on as a club as well, getting this monkey off our back, of not winning a trophy. This would catapult us to go on to better things if we did actually win a trophy. And I think that mentality shift would be in a better way instead of in a negative way,
I agree. I mean, Ethan, look, I think when you look at Pep when he comes over, Klopp when he came over, Jose when they came over, their first trophies were all a League Cup or an FA Cup. They were all winning that trophy. I see Spurs fans even to this day saying things like, "Oh, well, it's not important to win that one. We want to win the league or the Champions League." But surely it's like Phil said. Surely that gives you that M word, the momentum, yeah, the feel good factor, that ability to know that actually they can get over the line, they can cope in a big game, they have won a trophy, and maybe. Just maybe, I know I'm lying to myself completely here. Just maybe it will unite our fan base and we'll all be happy on the day we win a trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important for us as fans to have that belief in our team as well. And also, even if Hans does win the trophy for us, even if he's not the person to bring sustained success, then it's helpful for the manager that comes after him. He then doesn't have that pressure to deliver instantly because the fans are starved for a trophy.
But Ethan, bang on. I think this is why I want Spurs fans. I can't tell people what to do. I don't like words project, process, implement. For me, I think we need to get to the stage where we stop talking like that because we're actually buying good players that when the next manager comes in, picks up the good players and carries on. This notion that every time you bring in a manager means you need to buy 25 new players that all play a new system. And I think that we've got to get away from that. And look at Slot and Klopp. Now, I know I'm not saying Slot's won anything yet. It's impossible. He hasn't been here long enough to win something. But that's what you want. You bring in a manager that picks up a squad of good footballers. I'm sure he'll tweak it over time. But you want him to come in, put his own stamp on it, and keep doing what he's doing. At Spurs, we seem to be in a position where we go, right, well, we had Conte. Now we're going to go to Ange. Right, none of the players that played for Conte can play for Ange. Not true. Good players can play a lot of formations, right? And so for me, I dream of the day we stop using the word process, project. I just can't. I just don't think it means anything. That's just me.
Look, for the players that we've got at the club at the moment, you know, talking about this mentality at the club, a lot of those players, you know, like Eric Dyer and, you know, etc., they've all gone now. So we've got new players into the team that obviously they haven't really been at the club, you know, beforehand, and they you know, they sort of they don't know our mentality before they come to the club. So now we've got new players.
Yeah.
There should be a change in mentality at the club, you know, with new players coming in instead of having these older players, you know.
I agree. These excuses, it's the same players, Phil.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, on the one hand, Phil, we've got fans celebrating getting rid of all the deadwood. On the other hand, when we don't win games, it's been like this for ages because the players. Well, hang on. You praise them for getting rid of the deadwood. If those results then happen, we can't then turn around and go, it's been a problem culturally for years. Well, hang on. You know, this is new players, new manager, new system.
Yeah, I mean the cause for me for this away form as well. I think it is the lack of mentality. I think winning, you know, with Galatasaray coming up as well. I think them sort of games can help us improve in them away fixtures, you know, across the season, because Galatasaray is a hard place to go with their fans, the hostility, and you know, so us getting a result there can put us in really good stead going forward for the season in away game, better in that away form.
Well, Phil, let me just from that. I want to bring in Alex. I don't know. Do I call you Alex or you Lena? I mean, what's going on? You got like 9 names. What is your name?
Yeah, I'm both. I'm using the other one account for just football solely, and the other one I have for school matters and other things. So
okay,
I'm just using it for football, not for the algorithm to get ruined.
Okay,
basically.
Alex. So off the back of what Phil just said, you completely disagree, don't you? You think that Spurs, in your words, are going to batter Galatasaray. You think it's an easy place to go, right?
Yeah, but if I could go off with why I wanted to start off by saying, like, if you were supposed
knock yourself out, mate.
Now, right away, you would have me, or before you would have me on the show alone. So you gave me like an intro to introduce what I want to speak about. Can I do that first, or do you want to talk about it again?
Alex, calm down. First of all, let's not start with a lie that I wouldn't have you on the show. Right?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm really not saying that. What I'm saying is, if I would be on now it's not the case, but if I would be alone, you would give me like an introduction statement for me to talk about what I want to talk about.
You could listen. Talk about what you want now. Go. We can change subject. Sorry, guys. We're changing subject on the fly. Go.
Yeah. First of all, that other guy coming on the show, and the way he justified Levy like a billionaire, potentially saving a few millions for Jose in case he got that trophy bonus. I just think that's disgraceful because one, it's not his money. It's not his money. So why he would come out of his way like that to defend Levy, who I have a lot of words to describe him with, but one of them is a parasite. Like you can't, he comes out to defend him like that. And my point with that is that from you, Savva, just normal. I've come on your show multiple times before, but that doesn't seem to get recognized. But people in the chat,
mate, it doesn't. Hang on. Again, Alex, it doesn't get recognized because you come on as one name and you're in the chat as another.
Yeah, I know. But I've repeatedly said that I am this person, but for some reason, whatever, it always gets ignored. Anyways, that I get associated with that guy by you and like a lot of people in the chat, they associate me with that guy because that happy clapper, normal kind of category you can get put on you. That I get associated with the guy, I just find it hilarious, honestly. Because when I heard that, I had the same reaction as you had in terms of emotion, if not even more. Like the frustration I had hearing that was like absolute.
I get it. So you're distancing yourself from the Hitman. I get it completely. I get it.
Yeah, that's one thing. Then what I would want to go over is just now it's obvious that I'm Lena in the chat, as most other people know. But what I want to say is that even though we have our fiery moments, in general, what I do is I agree with you on most topics. We agree. But the thing is, when we agree, Savva, it doesn't get highlighted. It doesn't get talked about because you're the host of the show. And for me to like come out and like, oh yeah, I agree with that. With every other point, it would bring it doesn't bring any production. But when I come with my disagreements, it usually gets highlighted by you, by other people in the chat. So in the greater scheme of things, my disagreements become like 10 times more visible.
Alex, welcome to YouTube. Alex, welcome to YouTube. But I'm
aware of how this works, but I'm just saying.
Alex, I need you to make a football point. Alex, I need you to make a football point because I want to stop the show in the next 5, 6, 7 minutes because I promised Tottenham away alive and I promised not to cut into their time. So what's the football point? Listen, we're gonna row, we're gonna debate, we're gonna be fiery. That's who I am. I've been like that. Me and Phil have been backwards and forwards like that for years. It's never personal, my friend. So what football point did you want to bring up?
Yeah, I would just say, I will get into this. It's a point, but just about football in general, regarding our club, of course. Just how much it can fluctuate extremely. If we lost to Villa now, we could have potentially, 13th? We could have been 13th after the 13th. And if you take the next match day into consideration, we could potentially sit third if Villa lose to Liverpool. If Arsenal and Chelsea draw, because we have a better goal difference than them. So I'm just basing this assumption in case we win against Ipswich.
Yeah, we basically we can end next weekend going into the international break third if everything goes right for us. Yeah,
which is absolutely nuts because my opinion of the season has been, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to hold anything back. After that Arsenal loss on the back of Newcastle, I was ready to say Ange out. I was like, this is the second year. This is when he has said that he wins things. This is when he has said that he fits greater consistency into the team, etc. I'm not going to go into I know we have to go. when we had that loss to Arsenal on the back of that, just a non-dynamic game. It was boring, straight up. It was boring. When that happened, I was that. But I'm going on here now saying honestly that I have belief in this project. Based. I don't have belief in everything, but I have belief in the project as a whole, because I believe that we're better off sticking with Ange for now this season than we are to sack him now and get another manager.
Sure, but just to be clear, no one's saying sack him. I think when
for
we
now that we have no idea.
Right.
I know. I'm not saying that people are either, but I'm saying based on.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Again, when we use the term "we have belief in this project," can I ask what does that mean? So, what is the Ange project?
Yeah, I can just get my starting off with the youth. If you want to talk about the youth,
but is that a project? Bringing in young players, is that a project?
No, I'm talking in general, but the youth is a part of the project, isn't it? That's what the club has made it about. And of course, it's about our senior buck of players, but many of those have been here before Ange. Not saying all of them, but a lot of them have been. Talking about the youth, we disagreed on this earlier. My belief in Lucas and Archie, which is our most heavily invested youth, you could argue, and Odegaard, of course, but Lucas and Archie, which have been I argue that I believe that they're better off being with us for this year than they would be going out to Championship club, etc. Because I believe that for a youth player in that age, you can look at many other Lucas and Archie with their combined minutes this season. They're in the highest bracket of U19 players that with game time. It's not a lot.
But are you adding in? Are you adding Europa into that? Right, we're talking Europa League in there, right?
Yeah, but you can take Premier League separately too, and they're still up there. Either way, I'm not talking about their talent. I'm talking about them being with us for a year is more optimal in my thought.
Okay, so let me refute that.
All right.
Let me refute that. The way I see it is, especially look at Bergvall, right? If we look at Bergvall, this boy's not getting minutes. This boy is getting 60 odd minutes here or there against Ferencvaros, Karabag, AZ Alkmaar. I don't know how that's helping him learn and grow as a footballer. If I'm completely honest, I don't think putting him against good opposition. And if I'm going to be brutally honest, when I've watched him, I've not really been that impressed. I think he looks every bit a young kid. I think listen, he's got some ability for sure, but I think it's really tough when you're not playing for 3 or 4 weeks, then you get dropped in for an hour against a team where we're going to have the ball anyway. For me, I think you learn better as a youngster when you're playing week in, week out against men in a battle every week. Yeah, get Bergvall in. Like if Bergvall was at Leeds, week in, week out at Leeds, he's having a scrap. Week in, week out, he's playing against midfields that are going full-blooded, elbows, everyone's jumping up their headers. I think we learn more about their development there than we do 30, 40-minute cameos against really lower-level clubs in Europe.
I said this before, though, Savva. We can't afford to send them sort of players out on loan because we've got a thin squad. And I did get,
isn't it?
I know, yeah.
But that was the disappointing thing of only buying these young players in the summer was 100%. Now. Well, we can't let them go on loan because we didn't buy any senior pros. Like,
I think they have got quality though. These young players that we brought in, I think they have got quality, and they will get their chance throughout the season. I really do think that Ange will chop and change it. More so in the Europa League than in league games. We probably will get injuries throughout the season as well, and they might have to come in then. Against teams like Ipswich, you might find that they may come in and have a longer period of time on the pitch. But for me, I do think these are quality players that we brought in, but we need, seasoned sort of footballers around them youngsters to help them through.
You've used the word quality.
I think they have got quality. I think they have got quality. I think they have got potential of being good quality players, right? I think they have got. I can see the quality in them when I've seen them play. I have seen glimpses. I've seen glimpses of both of them players having, quality. I do think that we have to nurture these players through, and it's not going to come straight away. We have to, as fans, give these players time. And on Ange's part, he needs to give them the game time to progress as footballers. The likes we've had certain footballers at the club, young footballers that haven't had the chance, and they've moved on. We need to start giving these young players a chance if they are good enough.
If they're good enough, and I do need to end the show in a minute. I'm cutting into another channel's show, and I hate doing that. I really hate doing that.
Can I ask questions of it before you go?
Yeah, just quickly though, I just want to say, if they're good enough, let's see one of them play centre mid against Ipswich at home on Saturday.
That's what I'd like to have. I'd like to see Bergvall and Gray in there, along with some, like a seasoned pro like Bentancur. Do you know what I mean? To help them two players, through. Do you know what I mean? And that would help with their progression.
I agree. I completely agree. But my question is this: if you can't put them in against a newly promoted Premier League team at home off the back of winning 4-1 against a Champions League opponent, I suppose, in Aston Villa, then are they good enough? That's the only question for me. But listen,
I'll get that. Just the last thing, Savva. Last thing. If they get at least half hour on the football pitch, I think that is good enough. But if they're starting to get 5-10 minutes against Ipswich,
Phil, it depends in what setting. Like if they're coming on when you're 3-4-0 up.
Yeah.
It's an easy game now. There's no pressure. I want to see them playing against good opposition in a game where they're starting. It's 0-0 and they're having that midfield battle.
So they can have the effect on the game from the start, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Because when you're 3 or 4-0 up, that's fine. You're keeping the ball, whatever. But when you're 0-0, right, the battle's going on. Which man are you marking? Who are you marking at set pieces? Who are you tracking? When you're coming on at 3 or 4-0, the other team's deflated. I want to see them from the start in a Premier League game. I'm not saying together. But I want to see.
Could I jump in?
And if they're not ready to start against Ipswich, then
you see what a player's all about. You see what a player's all about then from the start. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll get you.
Alex, finish off, mate. I really am cutting in.
Yeah, I get it. Is it just yes or no question? Do you think Archie and Lucas would have been better off? Lucas and Archie, if they would have been better off, let's say hypothetically now, a championship club. That's what it would have been at that this season.
Yes.
Then them staying with us for this first year, getting acclimatized to the whole environment of Tottenham, incrementally getting more and more minutes, getting better in terms of training, because training makes you better as a player. Training to get acclimatized to the environment. Because I believe that if they would have been sent out alone this year, I don't think if they would have come back where this environment is they haven't gotten to know it at all. This is basically their first year.
Okay, so what about a halfway house? What about a halfway house? Why not send them out August to December?
I believe that next year they will start Premier League games. Archie and Lucas. I'm not saying they will start all of them.
Instead of who? But this is the thing. Instead of who?
I'm not saying they would have started all of them. I'm saying they will be starting games next year. And if they're not, then I don't believe they're successful signings. That's my opinion on it. And I'm just saying, having players at your club is
why not for a blend. Why not say right, August, September, October, November, December, you're going down and playing the championship. Find them a club, get a contract where they're guaranteed minutes. Archie Gray was guaranteed minutes at Leeds, right? And then say, right, do you know what? Go and play 20, 25 games, however many games are between August and December, right? Right. From
If,
day,
if they're good enough, they will get minutes too. If they're good enough, they will get
so
minutes.
let's acclimatize them from January through to May at Spurs when fatigue kicks in, when injuries have kicked in, when suspensions have kicked in. That is what I would have done to develop them. But hey, listen, we could argue this all day, guys. I really must go. Listen, thank you very much to each and every one of you who've come on. I really appreciate all your support. Please always know it's just a bit of banter. There's never any hate. If I pick on someone in the chat, it's probably more a nice thing that I actually like debating with them and having a bit of a set to with them rather than anything. So, guys, much love. Thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow for a premiered video with Kuva. Talking of Kuva, there he is with Kuva and Ben. I think tomorrow's show is called The Only Way is Kuva's Flip Flop. So join us for that tomorrow. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs, and please go over to Tottenham away right now. Take care, everyone.
Spurs.
Bye-bye.